Hello, kindred spirits. This time I want to talk about reviewing past lives because there are different ways to do this with very different results. The usual way that people have done this is through hypnosis, and the psychologist or the hypnotist is going back to look for details that can be verified in the physical world as evidence that yes, this person really did live this past life because he or she knows something about something that cannot be explained in any other manner. And if this interests you, if you're interested in these kinds of regressions in order to establish facts of figures or dates or names, then you'll really be interested in the reincarnation in America coming back because three of those sessions are documented in this film. And yes, it's right here on YouTube. So I've seen it multiple times. I like this short. Well, it's over an hour, so bring your favorite bowl of your favorite snacks and look at that because the reincarnation experiments that are included in this film come from another film on YouTube of that name, and they were conducted in the 1980s by an Australian psychologist named Dr. Peter Ramster. Now, these experiments in regression and hypnosis involved people from New South Wales who, according to passport documents and government records, had never left Australia. Yet when Dr. Ramster put them under hypnosis and talked to them, they knew names and dates and details of places in Scotland, in France, places that they had never gone to physically in this lifetime. In fact, one woman who she knew more about a Scottish medical school in Glasgow than the people living at the university and having studied the history of the university actually knew themselves. So that, they were all shaking their heads at each other, going, I can't explain this. And that's really what this approach to past lives, the gosh, is it real approach, that's what it leaves you with. It leaves you with a whole bunch of head scratching. And, well, gee, there's something to this, or maybe there's not if you decide not to believe it. But if you're open minded, you say there really is no other explanation, and yet it doesn't still somehow seem real. Okay, then there's option two, and this is the option that Sunan story healing. That's the path we go down when we do that. Instead of a hypnotic state, you go into a light, subjective, altered state, sort of the kind of state you would get into if you were really relaxed and in your favorite place, like in a meadow or in a forest by a stream or by the beach in a hammock with one of those drinks with the little pink umbrella. All right, you're very relaxed. You're treating yourself like your own best friend. And then what we do is we move into your emotional body because the mental body is primarily concerned with facts and numbers and names and all that kind of thing. And you can get those facts and numbers and names and this kind of the other, and it still won't seem real. But when you tap into those feelings, suddenly you know, you become very aware that this was real because this is how I've always felt. And that is one of the biggest awakenings in going back and doing past lives and looking at past lives and resolving past life issues through story healing. It's about healing the emotions, not a mental exploration. It's very different. It's deep, it's profound, and it changes you for the better, provided you make the decision to release the self judgment and heal yourself. But again, it's always your choice. You can go back and say, not for me. I'm not doing anything. And that's perfectly okay. The problem is that these emotions and these awareness and these feelings are now rattling around in your conscious mind, and they will bug the bejesus out of you until you actually get in and resolve them. So there you have it, 2 routes. Depends on what you're interested in and what your approach is. But if you really want to know whether it's real and feel the reality of your past life, you want to explore your emotional body, not go through your mental. So next time I'll find an example of exploring a past life emotion and resolution and share that with you. Until then, vaya con Dios.